Good evening. Glad to have you join us on News Around the World. My name is Mutsunrayo Adabi. The federal government has disbursed 2.2 billion naira to 444 agricultural-based cooperative societies in 148 local government areas out of the 774 local governments in the country. The measure is part of efforts at boosting agricultural production in Nigeria. The 3 agricultural-based cooperative societies selected from each of the 148 local government areas received 500,000 naira each for agricultural group activities, for investments in enterprises along the agricultural value chain, and operated through a microcredit finance process. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Millennium Development Goals, Dr. Precious Benio, disclosed this in Abuja during the inauguration of the MDG's microcredit grant to 444 agric-based cooperative societies in 148 local governments. According to her, the initiative remains one of the pivotal strategies of our office to complement all poverty alleviation and employment initiatives of the federal government. Meanwhile, the Director, Agriculture and Fisheries, Niger Delta Development Commission, Mr. God's Power Amadi, says the Commission has released $12 million to International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, to support agriculture in Niger Delta. Mr. Amadi disclosed this at the 15th IFAD NDDC FGN Supervision Mission organized by IFAD in Port Harcourt. He said the Commission, as partners in the project, was expected to release $15 million to support the program. The National Program Coordinator of IFAD, Dr. Irene Ibeakweze, urged state governments and other stakeholders to pay their counterpart funds to make the program a success. The desired civil service and public service must imbibe the core values of integrity, competence, accountability, political neutrality, and eagerness to deliver service. Former Minister of Petroleum Resources and retired Federal Permanent Secretary Dr. Phillips Asiodu said this at the 2014 Oyo State Public Service Forum lecture, which was held at the Banquet Hall, Premier Hotel in Ibadan. Staff reporter Dukwe Feintola has details.
The Oyo State Public Service Forum, which came into being many years ago, was designed to enhance capacity building of all civil and public servants by giving them the opportunity to drink from the fountain of knowledge and experience of the old veterans. The Public Service Forum was resuscitated and upgraded to international standards by the Abiola Ajimobi administration, going by the quality of the resource persons being invited, their antecedents and deliveries. It will be recalled that in the year 2012, Dr. Christopher Akolade, the immediate past chairman of the Subsidy Reinvestment Program, SURP, was the guest lecturer, while Professor Ladipo Adamolekun, an internationally recognized professor of public administration, was the guest lecturer in 2013. The third edition featured a former Minister of Petroleum Resources and retired Federal Permanent Secretary, Dr. Philip Asiodu. What is the role of a public servant?
The duties of the civil service, its composition, the special knowledge and skills required in any particular sections are determined by the nature and ideology of the government, its concept of the scope of its functions, and how much of the activities and lives of the people the government wishes to regulate, promote, or influence. A new vastly improved and remotivated public service can only be developed and nurtured in a drastically changed political context, involving as a critical, necessary condition the patriotic redefinition.
The guest lecturer who spoke on repositioning and remotivating the public service for improved service delivery and national challenge said, for an emerging nation like Nigeria, it is absolutely necessary to have a good public service at the center and in the state. According to him, many evils plaguing the service like low productivity, low morale, and corruption can be traced to the very low pay prevalent in the civil service and other arms of public service.
According to qualifications, experience, and merit, without regard to race, will be maintained. That statement was signed by Dr. Nandaziki of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, later on National Council of Nigerian Citizens, Sir Ahmadu Bello of the Northern People's Congress, Chief Obafemi Awolowo of the Action Group, Professor Eyoita of the United National Independence Party, and Madam Aminu Kano of the Northern Elements Progressive Union.
The Oyo State Head of Service, Alhaji Tajuddin Aremu, revealed that the Oyo State Governor has approved the creation of a new department in the Office of the Head of Service to look after the welfare of Oyo State workers. The new department, known as Post-Service Department, is also saddled with the responsibility of inquiring after the well-being of retired heads of service, permanent secretaries, and heads of extra-ministerial departments and directors.
To my mind, for sustainability of this laudable trend, there is a need for continuity in governance. We should all rally around the present administration to continue its good work in the areas of unprecedented peace and security, industrial development, infrastructural rehabilitation and development, staff welfare, educational development, healthcare service delivery, environmental sanitation, and urban renewal, to mention of few.
The chairman at the lecture, former managing director of Guaranty Trust Bank, Mr. Fola Adeola, who was represented by Dr. Babatunde Oyedeji, the first permanent secretary to bag a PhD in Oyo State, urged civil servants to prepare themselves ahead for retirement. The state chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC Oyo State Chapter, Comrade Bashiru Nlariwaju, described the lecture as a worldwide experience.
And one of those things I've gained is that, one, we have to be dedicated. We should not join the politicians in what they call competitive corruption.
The public lecture, which was organized for senior public servants on grade level 10 to 16, also featured presentation of gifts to invited guests. Dupe Fentola, B.C.O.S. News.
The state governor, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, has described the civil service as the bedrock of any government. Governor Ajimobi said this at the 2014 Oyo State Public Service Forum, which was held at the Banquet Hall, Premier Hotel, Mokola in Ibadan. Staff reporter Dupe Feintola was at the forum and again files in the details.
Oyo State Governor Senator Abiola Ajimobi, who personally graced the event, said his administration would continue to appreciate any civil servant that excels and at the same time would not condone any act of corruption. The governor, who called on civil servants to employ their God-given talents in discharging their duties in the state civil service and Nigeria as a whole, also urged them not to allow themselves to be used by any individual against the government. Governor Ajimobi, while challenging the civil servants to have the courage to stand up professionally, also hinted that his administration has offered welfare and training more than any other government in the state.
Our civil servants of today, they have knowledge. But what I see missing in my 3 years interaction is the courage. The courage to stand up for what you believe in. And the courage to say, professionally, this is where I stand. And no matter the governor or this SSG, if you are talking sense, if you are sincere and your knowledge is coming true, believe you me, knowledge is superior to power any day, particularly in the
Governor Ajimobi described the guest lecturer, Dr. Philip Ashiodo, as a foremost public administrator who is known to appreciate quality in service. The public lecture topic is repositioning and remotivating the public service for improved service delivery and national challenge. Dupe Feintola, B.C.O.S. News.
The Oyo State government, in collaboration with partners in malaria prevention, today marked the World Malaria Day with an enlightenment talk for residents in Ibadan Southwest local government. The talk, which was held at the Primary Health Center at Gbongbo, had the presence of healthcare providers, community and religious leaders. The state health educator, Mrs. Abimbola Farinde, urged people to live in a clean environment, as she noted that mosquito, which is the cause of malaria, breeds in a dirty environment. She said that malaria is more deadly than HIV/AIDS, adding that more attention and campaign should be carried out by government and stakeholders at all levels to stem the number of people that malaria kills yearly. Mrs. Farinde then urged people to cultivate the habit of sleeping under mosquito-treated net, which, according to her, is an effective means of preventing malaria. The prevention and treatment of malaria is cheap and accessible, according to experts. But the disease still claims more lives yearly through ignorance and negligence. 25th of April is the World Malaria Day. The theme for this year is Invest in the Future, Defeat Malaria. Our health correspondent, B.C.O.S. Olasheme, compiles a report on the efforts geared towards malaria prevention and treatment.
April 25th of every year has been set aside to shine a spotlight on the global effort to control malaria. The theme of 2014 World Malaria Day is Invest in the Future, Defeat Malaria. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, malaria still kills an estimated 660,000 people worldwide, mainly children under 5 years of age and pregnant women. In Nigeria, malaria is responsible for 60% of outpatient visits to health facilities, 30% of childhood deaths, 25% of deaths in children under 1 year, and 11% of maternal deaths, according to Nigeria Ministry of Health. A major scale-up of vector control interventions, together with increased access to diagnostic, testing, and quality-assured treatment, has been key to the efforts on malaria prevention and treatment. The Oyo State Malaria Program Manager, Dr. Olabode Ladipo, speaks on the theme of World Malaria Day and efforts on malaria prevention.
All tiers of government are enjoined to put everything together to try and work concertedly towards eliminating or perhaps eradicating the scourge of malaria in our societies. Now, in the era in which we notice that malaria is not the only thing that causes fever, so for anybody that is diagnosed to have malaria will be treated. And if that happens, we'll be killing the parasites that have malaria, so that cause malaria. And so perhaps over time we might be able to have mosquitoes biting people but not actually transmitting the disease. And then for us in the ministry and in the government establishment, we are thinking about the 5th and 6th, the issue of monitoring and the issue of evaluating and seeing how well we've been able to do our things.
The contributions of the entire community and individuals in particular have been said to be key in the prevention of malaria. A medical expert, Dr. Sholakumi Olusonya, speaks on what individuals should do to protect themselves from malaria.
We are working to make sure that other areas come into place, such as prevention, people using their nets, that's LLINs, long-lasting insecticidal nets, to actually prevent malaria, clearing of their compounds and their communities. You clear your environment, okay? And you make sure that you don't have collection of water, stagnant water in the environment. You don't have bushes surrounding you. You try and make sure that they are, reduced. You have reduced or and cleared. Then you make sure that rubbish dumps and sites are covered. You don't have open bins all over the whole place, because these serve as pockets for water to collect and also the mosquitoes to breed. Then also we have other things that people use, sitting outside. People say you can use mosquito. A lot of people say there are mosquito repellent creams that you can actually apply to actually prevent the bites, of the mosquito and also reduce transmission. Yeah. If you notice, like all the partners in the states now, and also with the malaria control unit of the states, we go into communities, we educate people, and we tell them that get to the health facility closest to you. That's why, as much as possible, you see us having outreaches, you don't see us promoting giving of drugs. You see us asking the people to go to the health centers. We may actually test them, you understand, and make sure that they are diagnosed before they get a treatment.
Malaria cannot just be cured, but it can be totally eradicated in every community. B.C.O.S. Olasheme, B.C.O.S. News.
Media to step up efforts at combating terrorism. This and more after the break.
mouth, that gives you your best smile, that lets you bite into the best food, hot or cold. That's why your mouth deserves Oral-B Pro Health All-Round Protection. It protects you against bacteria, plaque, and gum problems that could lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth and gives you all-round protection. That's why your mouth deserves Oral-B Pro Health All-Round Protection. And now available in family size.
Unstoppable. You can see me, I'm unshakable.
You!
Hey, yo!
There are times when you might find yourself in a hard-to-reach situation. But with one network, you are never out of touch. With Glow, there are no limits. And nothing stops you from doing what you want to do, getting where you want to go.
You've been eluding me for a long time. Please, don't take that bike. Take my car.
Or even how you get there.
You got a permit for this thing?
Experience the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. Collect 3 gold crowns to spell Brazil. There are also millions of instant prizes to be won. Winners will be announced every Sunday on NTA Newsline.
The world is ours.
Glad to know you're still there with us. To combat terrorism in Nigeria, mechanisms for professional involvement of ethics must be put in place by the media. The Minister of Information, Mr. Labaran Marco, gave this advice today in Abuja while declaring open the 8th Ordinary Congress of the West African Journalists Association, WAJA. Noted that the greatest threat to democracy in West African countries is the influence of private media owners on the practice of journalism. B.C.O.S reporter Alhaja Fatima Abdul Karim reports that the minister regrets the continued suppression of the media in some West African countries. President of WAJA, who is also the president of the Federation of African Journalists, FAJ, and the president of NUJ, Malam Garba Mohammed, said journalists have been trained through the $2.5 million grant to WAJA. The Congress, having delegates from 16 countries in attendance, continues tomorrow with the election of officers to pilot the affairs of WAJA for the next 3 years. Security agents in Ogun State have arrested at least 8 people whose crimes border on murder, kidnap, and human rituals. The State Police Command said it had recovered the head of a 2-year-old boy, which was severed by a suspected ritualist at Ofada in Obafemi, Owode local government area of the state. The police public relations officer in the state, Muiwa Adejobi, in a statement, said the severed head of the boy was recovered in Ibadan. The boy, whose mother was raped by the suspected ritualist, identified as Mamadou Bashir Ibrahim, was beheaded last Thursday when his mother, who had him strapped on her back, went to ease herself in a bush. The police PRO said the suspect, who fled the scene immediately after he perpetrated the act, had been arrested. The Oyo State Commissioner for Environment and Habitat, Honorable Lawrence Adewale, has assured companies and industries operating in Ibadan metropolis of adequate support to enhance their growth and development. Honorable Adewale gave this assurance while on a familiarization and interactive visit to companies and industries within the Ibadan metropolis. The Commissioner noted that the visit became imperative in order to identify his ministry with the challenges being faced by the various companies operating within Ibadan metropolis, with a view to providing necessary support and conducive environment to enhance their productivity. Honorable Adewale promised to partner with companies and industries that key into the present administration's drive to make Oyo State clean and attractive to investors. Responding on behalf of some of the companies and organizations visited, the General Manager of Steelwork Ibadan, Mr. Abu Jawo, commended the State Governor, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, for his efforts at transforming the nooks and crannies of Oyo State. The skyrocketing price of cement in the open market being experienced of recent is giving prospective homeowners and property developers in the country some concern. A 50-kilogram bag of cement now sells for between 2,000 and 2,500 naira, as against 1,600 and 1,800 naira for which it was being sold. Staff reporter Adiola Showumi visited some cement sellers and block dealers in Ibadan to unravel the reason behind the high cost of cement and its implications for prospective homeowners and property developers.
The price of cement, a premium building material in Nigeria, has risen on the open market, with the price of a 50-kilogram bag of the product rising from 1,850 naira in March to about 2,300 naira, an increase of over 13%. Reports reveal that the persistent increase in the price of the product is as a result of high demand for cement and inability of manufacturers to meet up with demand. Cement dealers complain about the high cost of production due to exchange rates in markets, adding that it is affecting the cost of doing business. One of the distributors in Ibadan, Dikin Abiodun Akinleye, and the secretary of one of the dealers association, Mr. Ashim Nurin, explained that one of the probable reasons for the hike in price might be the heightened construction activities in the dry season, as people usually rush to either start or complete their construction before the raining season begins.
There is a high cost of production due to our exchange rate in the market. It's one of another factors that contributed to it. The materials coming in through the company, it's costly. So that's why the things happen.
We are also feeling the impact. At the same time, we need cement. And like others that are very close to us, they also need cement. So we will not like it to go up like the situation we find ourselves in.
Some block industry owners who spoke with B.C.O.S. News said they are facing a lot of challenges due to the hike in price of cement.
This is a challenge to those who are building too. So many people have come to us and they say, well, this is outside my budget. And they just go back. It's something the government should look into. You see, the problem with us, this nation, is that there is no correct information. If the government says yes, the manufacturing people say, well, for these reasons, the price of cement has to, and that is announced generally. Well, we will not be thinking it's the retailers that are, making more money, or that is just, scarcity caused by all these people. But if there are specific, statements from government, okay, the price has increased because of this and this, okay, everybody will readjust. People will not come to us and we say the block sells for 170 and we will say, what do you mean? We need information.
Some prospective homeowners who would not want to show their faces on camera said they are putting their projects on hold due to the hike in the price of cement, blocks and rings. It is, however, believed that the hike in the price of cement will be a thing of the past as soon as the exchange rate of naira to a dollar goes down and the necessary economic climate is put in place by the government at the center. Adiola Showumi, B.C.O.S. News.
Activities marking the 2014 Workers' Day celebration kicked off today with a special Jumat service at the University College Hospital, UCH Central Mosque in Ibadan. In his sermon at the special Jumat service, the Chief Imam of University College Hospital, UCH Ibadan, Alhaji Muhammad Awal, said those in position of authority and civil servants are empowered by God to lead the people aright. The Chief Imam, who prayed for workers and government of Oyo State, also called on them to be dedicated to their duties, saying Allah has rewards for hard work. In an interview with the B.C.O.S. News, the chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC), Comrade Bashir Olanrewaju, said the essence of the Jumat service was to seek divine intervention on the various problems bedeviling the nation at this period. The NLC boss, who commended the state government for its commitment to workers' welfare, also stressed the need for government to work on enhanced salary structure for workers in the state. The TUC chairperson in the state, Comrade Bolanle Olabode, in her remarks, appealed to the state governor to further improve on workers' welfare. Nigerians have been charged not to lose hope, but to continue in fervent prayers. The Diocesan Bishop of Ibadan Anglican Communion and President of Synod, Most Reverend Joseph Akinfenwa, made this appeal while giving the bishop's charge as part of activities marking the 21st Synod of the Church. Staff reporter Shade Akeredolu completes the story.
That was shortly after the procession following the bishop's charge. The bishop's charge is a part of activities lined up for the 21st Synod of the Anglican Communion Ibadan Diocese, witnessed a time of charge into various aspects of the society by the Diocesan Bishop of Ibadan and the President of Synod, Most Reverend Joseph Akinfenwa. Most Reverend Joseph Akinfenwa, who spoke on the theme, "Establish on High Vision of Greatness," cried the state of the nation, adding that Nigeria as a nation blessed in no ratification, there is no need or cause to wallow in the present state of penury and want.
This is a time that everybody needs to be on our knees to pray and uphold our leaders in prayers so that God gives them the right solution, the right strategy to tackle all the ills that is confronting this nation, especially when we talk in terms of security. And in the same vein, we need to tell all and sundry that as we enter the period of electioneering campaign, the masses must prepare to vote wisely. The masses must not vote on sentiment or what they will get, the porridge that they will get for now and they will eat and forget. And also that politicians too must put the love of the masses at heart and not to do politicking with bitterness, with violence. No.
He also commended the Oyo State Governor for the laudable projects the administration has embarked upon since its inception in the state. Other participants at the Synod also appreciated the bishop's charge, stressing that it came right on time. The nation needed it most. Shade Akeredolu, B.C.O.S. News.
The Nigerian Baptist Convention wants those involved in killings, abduction and insurgency in the country to abandon the ungodly acts for peace to reign supreme. The President's Nigerian Baptist Convention, Reverend Samson Ayokunle, stated this at a press conference on the occasion of the centenary celebration and 101st Convention of the Church, which begins tomorrow and ends on the 1st of May 2014. Staff reporter Oyetunji Oyekunle has details.
The press conference was part of programs to mark 100 years of the formation of the Nigerian Baptist Convention, which is the biggest Baptist convention in Africa and the 101 convention of the church. The celebration begins tomorrow and will end on the 1st of May 2014. The president of the Nigerian Baptist Convention, Reverend Samson Ayokunle, who addressed members of the press, said all forms of killings for whatever reason in the country must stop. Reverend Ayokunle said there was no acceptable justification for the abduction of secondary school girls in Borno State. Hence, those behind the act should release the students to their parents. He appealed to delegates at the ongoing national conference to be objective in addressing the various inadequacies in Nigeria and be fair to all religious and ethnic groups in the country.
Since most Nigerians practice one religion or the other, I want the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to declare 3 days of national prayer and fasting for all Nigerians so that we might seek the face of God concerning the challenges we are facing. If we call upon God with sincere hearts and turn away from every form of wickedness, the Lord will have mercy on us.
On the theme of the centenary celebration of the church, which is moving forward, celebrating and renewing our ministries, the president urged all Baptists to labor to win more souls and nations for the Lord. He said that since 1850, Nigerian Baptist has contributed immensely to education in Nigeria, including the establishment of Bowen University, provision of medical and social services, as well as employment for teeming youth in Nigeria. Meanwhile, delegates are already arriving for the 101 convention, which begins tomorrow at Ibadan Baptist Center, Ibadan. Oyetunji Oyekunle, B.C.O.S. News.
Nigerians call for quick return of abducted schoolgirls in Borno State. Details when we return.
Buy a Milo Champ Pack and get a sports water bottle for free. Catch the fun as you collect all 3 sports designs. Milo!
Nestle Milo, the energy food drink of future champions.
Mouth that gives you your best smile. That lets you bite into the best food, hot or cold. That's why your mouth deserves Oral-B Pro Health All-Round Protection. It protects you against bacteria, plaque, and gum problems that could lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth and gives you all-round protection. That's why your mouth deserves Oral-B Pro Health All-Round Protection. And now available in family size.
Can't sleep, afraid to leak. Up all night, turning left and right. I need a better night. Always at night, locks liquid in. Unlike tissues that stain through. No stains, no check. Up to 8 hours. With always my nights are better. With always my mornings brighter. What a good morning. Stay happy always.
Always. Quality brand by P&G.
You're welcome back. Nearly 2 weeks after over 200 schoolgirls of Government Secondary School, Chibok, Borno State were declared missing, the frantic search for them has not yielded positive results. People's Parliament today, as compiled by a man, Oluremi Agbejule, samples people's opinion concerning this lingering Boko Haram insurgency in the country.
We just have to resort back to prayers and support him, because right now, you know, all hands, I believe the military are trying their tactics, but it's just unfortunate this is happening to Nigeria at this time of the period. But we just pray that God should save us.
Government should be able to take a more pressing action than what they have done yet. Like somebody said, if it was one of Jonathan's child, he wouldn't behave the way he behaved. So I expect that the government should take a decisive action to pressurize these people. At least they are hiding somewhere. And with about 240 children, something concrete must be done.
I appeal to them, especially the federal government, to take drastic action to let those the security people, whatever they might need to get them back, that they should provide it because of the sake of those children.
I think the president should rise up to the occasion. He should lead by example. He should rise up to the occasion and do something quickly.
We must wake up from our slumber in Nigeria to rise up to the occasion. How can we rise up to the occasion? To protect and protect our citizens. How do we protect our citizens? By carrying placards, even to march to the Aso Rock.
Over now to our sports segment, where Abdul Fattah Uyedeji is standing by for latest gist from the world of sports. Abdul Fattah, good evening.
Thank you so much, Toraya. Good evening and welcome to the sports segment of the news. Oyo State representatives in the ongoing All Nigeria Secondary School Football Championship, known as NNPC Shell Cup, Briville College, Ibadan, at the Teslim Balogun Stadium this evening, booked a final place after defeating Government Day Secondary School Kotangora, Niger State by 2-0 in the first semi-final cracker played this evening. After Gafar Goriola opened scoring in the 46th minute for Brightville, the highest goal scorer in the school football competition, Kehinde, continued his blistering form when he scored the second goal for Brightville in the 76th minute, taking his goal tally to 5. Kehinde, an SS2 student of Brightville College, who is now being noticed by the scouts monitoring the event, has scored in every match of the tourney, now maintaining his peak with 5 goals. Reacting after the match, the Commissioner for Youth and Sports in Oyo State, Umar Farouk Alao, commended the school pupils, teachers, and proprietors of the school for making the pace-setter state proud in the prestigious school soccer tourney. He, however, pledged mouth-watering incentives for every member of the team, while urging them not to rest on their oars until they lift the trophy. Brightville College Ibadan will now face St. Thomas Basic Secondary School, Benin City, who defeated Government Day Secondary School, Dangogo Zamfara State by 4 goals to 1 in the second semi-final match played this evening at the same venue. The finals come up on Sunday this week. Moving on to the Nigerian Professional Football League, tomorrow action enters week 9 with 6 matches slated for tomorrow. Abia Warriors will face Warri Wolves. Sharks Football Club of Port Harcourt will stay at home to face El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri, while the Blue Marines, Dolphin Football Club of Port Harcourt, will be in Lafia, where they face Nasarawa United. Lobby Stars of Makurdi will also entertain Kano Pillars, while the Nazi Millionaires, Atlant Football Club of Owerri, will face Eyimba Football Club of Aba. Also this weekend, Gombe United will face Kaduna United. Taraba United will be home to face the Flying Antelopes Rangers International, while Oyo State Flag Bearers Crown Football Club of Ogbomoso will entertain Nembe City. Akwa United against Sunshine Football Club of Akure, and Bayelsa United's match against Giwa United has been postponed because of the Continental Cup engagement of Bayelsa United. The battle for the English Premier League enters the home run this weekend, with Liverpool favoured to win, with matches slated for the weekend. Southampton will be home to Everton. At the Craven Cottage, it's Fulham against Hull City, while Stoke City will be home to face Tottenham Hotspur. Swansea will lock arms with Aston Villa. West Bromwich Albion will be at the Hawthorns against West Ham, and Manchester United will also be on duty tomorrow against Norwich. On Sunday, action will get to the very climax, where Chelsea will entertain Liverpool at Anfield. Sunderland will be at home to Cardiff City also on Sunday, while Crystal Palace face Manchester City. And from there, we move to another sad story this evening. Former Barcelona coach Tito Villanova has died at the age of 45 after a long battle with cancer. Villanova had a tumor removed from his throat in November 2011 before suffering a relapse in December 2012. He stepped down as backup boss last July to continue his treatment, with Gerardo Martino taking charge. FC Barcelona management announced this sad story this afternoon. Tito Villanova has died at the age of 45, and the club wished him resting in peace. The ex-Barca youth team player was Pep Guardiola's assistant before stepping up to replace the now Bayern Munich boss when he decided to take a sabbatical from football in June 2012. Villanova had surgery in December 2012 and spent 10 weeks in New York having chemotherapy and radiotherapy, but he returned in March 2013 to see his side take the Spanish title in his sole season in charge. In basketball, Oyo State Flag Bearers in the DSTV basketball event, Oluyole Warriors triumphed at home this evening, beating Royal Hoopers of Lagos by 75 to 70 points. According to Eniola Folabi, the Oyo State Flag Bearers did so well and stand a chance of moving to the top of the league table. Lastly, in tennis, defending champion Maria Sharapova defeated Agnieszka Radwanska in straight sets to move into the semi-final of the WTA event in Stuttgart, Germany. Sharapova, aiming for a third successive title, beat the top seed 6-4, 6-3 to set up a semi-final with either Sara Errani or Carla Suarez Navarro. The Russian, world number 9, has won all 11 matches that she has played on 3 visits to Stuttgart on clay. Jelena Jankovic and Anna Ivanovic are both in the other half of the draw. Jankovic at 8, The highest ranked player left in the tournament met Alisa Klebanova in the quarterfinals, while Ivanovic takes on Svetlana Kuznetsova. Also, in the other side, Rafael Nadal also moved to the last 8 in Barcelona at the event. And that will be all for sports this night. My name is Abdul Fatai Ojidiji.
On the international scene tonight, at least 4 people have been killed and 30 wounded in an explosion outside a mosque in the city of Karachi, Pakistan. Our foreign news correspondent Damilola Ayoride completes the story and other stories around the world.
A bomb attack in Pakistan's biggest city, Karachi, has killed at least 4 people and wounded 30 others, 5 of them being severely injured. Senior police officer Abdul Khalik Sheikh said today's attack took place outside a mosque in the upscale Clifton neighborhood in Karachi. No one has claimed responsibility for today's attack, but Provincial Information Minister Shahjil Memon pointed his finger at the Pakistani Taliban, TTP. US President Barack Obama has said America stood shoulder to shoulder with South Korea over North Korean provocation as he continued his Asia tour. His visit comes amid concerns that North Korea could be planning to conduct a 4th nuclear test following reports of activity at its Pyongyang nuclear test site. President Obama also offered condolences to South Korean leader Park Geun-hye over the country's recent ferry tragedy. And on the Russia-Ukraine crisis, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has accused Russia of distraction, deception, and destabilization in eastern Ukraine. In a strongly worded statement, he called on Moscow to help defuse the crisis there or face further sanctions. He added that the window for Moscow to change course was closing. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov described the military raids by Ukrainian government to regain buildings occupied by pro-Russian separatists in the east as a bloody crime. Ukrainian Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk said Russia wanted to start World War III by militarily and politically occupying Ukraine. This was as a result of Russia's military exercises on the border. And in South Sudan, 4 senior politicians accused over an alleged coup plot that sparked South Sudan's civil war have been freed after the government dropped the treason charges against them. The 4, who include a former leader of the governing SPLW party, denied the plot as well as links to the fighting. Their release had been a key demand of the rebels at the peace talks in the Ethiopian capital city of Addis Ababa, which held earlier on. And finally, a drunken passenger who caused a hijack scare on a Virgin Australia flight by trying to break into the cockpit has been arrested after the plane landed on Indonesia's resort island of Bali. Reports say the island's airport was closed for nearly 2 hours today because of the incident, forcing several flights to be diverted. Damilola Ayorinde, B.C.O.S. News.
To end our major news tonight, here again are the main points. Federal government has disbursed over 2 billion naira to 444 agricultural cooperative societies. As the world marks Malaria Day today, the Oyo State government has restated its commitment to partner with stakeholders on prevention. And we also told you that explosion had claimed 4 lives and injured 30 others in Pakistan. And now, before I go, the task of nation building is the joint responsibility of both the government and the citizens. Ensure you play well your own part. And that ends the news around the world. On behalf of the entire production crew, thank you very much for watching, and here's wishing you a good night.